Hey folks, I'm JC from One Shot Adventures, and a little while ago I did a video for you GMs looking for new ways to begin their adventures. So I decided to turn that into a bit of a series. And today I'm going to tell you all about one that I like to use called the Intercepted Letter. Now in most adventures, you want to deliver the main objective of your adventure very early on, usually in the very first scene. The best objectives are clear and have real urgency to them. This is why openings like the dying old man in the tavern imparting some quest to the players is a classic. But obviously your players have probably seen that before, so a good GM has a toolbox of different ways to open their adventure. And so today I'm going to talk about one of them, the Intercepted Letter. Here's how this works. First, you start your adventure with an action scene, like a battle. I like to pick some unusual opponents that maybe my players haven't encountered before. Maybe en route to a new town, the party is suddenly attacked by frogmen or giant centipedes bursting from the ground. After the combat, the players find that there's been another victim to these opponents. A fresh corpse lies not too far away from the battlefield. Searching the corpse, the players find a bloodied letter, perhaps sewn inside the man's coat. This secret letter is addressed to somebody of some importance, but it doesn't matter if your players don't recognize the name. What is important is that the letter describes a secret mission, something that was obviously important and urgent to the recipient. Maybe in 3 days' time, a royal carriage is going to be attacked by assassins, or a lost dwarven outpost has been uncovered, and the legendary forge of King Edgehammer has been found after centuries, but there's a band of goblins that are heading right there to loot the place before the dwarves do. It doesn't matter what the quest actually is, as long as it sounds enticing and is urgent. The cool thing about this approach is that it can also seed your campaign with a new villain or contact. Perhaps the letter was addressed to the leader of the Assassin's Guild that was about to kill that prince in the carriage. He won't be happy when he discovers that his letter was intercepted and his plan was foiled by the PCs. Or the dwarven lord will be extremely grateful for the PCs stopping the goblins from looting his ancestors' forge, and he may become a patron in the future, rewarding them or sending them on many more missions. One simple letter can both kick off a great adventure and add narrative to your campaign. The other thing that I like about this approach is that it gives you, the GM, a chance to impress your players with a cool prop. I love props in RPGs. I fell in love with them for the first time decades ago when I first played Call of Cthulhu, which uses mysterious letters all the time. And now I always try to make sure to include props of some sort in the adventures that I write. And creating a cool letter is actually one of the easiest things to make. Here, I'll show you how to make this in just a few minutes. I'm going to use Photoshop, but you can use GIMP or any other free software to do basically the same thing. First, you're going to find a free texture of parchment or old paper. Place that down in your image and make sure the resolution is high enough, ideally 300 dpi, otherwise it's going to print kind of blurry. Then, write the letter that you want using a cool font that you like. There's a ton of great fonts that you can find on websites like defont.com. I have so many fonts loaded on my hard drive, it's ridiculous. And then sometimes if I'm in a rush or I need some extra inspiration for this character that wrote the letter, I use ChatGPT to transform what I wrote into something more stylized. For example, I just wrote this simple letter.
Master Fluter, the time has come. The prince has finally left his estate and is taking a secret 3-day trip to his vineyard to taste the newest batch of his Bretonnian wine. Now is the time to strike. His carriage will be at the crossroads the night before the full moon. There, we shall finally get revenge upon the man, tear out his entrails, and sacrifice him to the Chaos Gods.
Well, I think that could work pretty good. I could just use that as it is, but I actually used ChatGPT to make it sound a little bit more evil and gothic, like this.
Master Fluter, the moment we have awaited is at hand. The arrogant prince has finally left his estate, embarking on a secretive journey to his vineyard. He believes himself safe, but his fate is sealed. And the night before the full moon, his carriage will be at the crossroads. There we shall strike with the fury of shadows. We will tear him from his false sanctuary, rip out his entrails, and offer him as a sacrifice to the chaos gods. Prepare yourselves, our vengeance is near.
Oh, I like that. To make the letter look a little more authentic, I add some ink splotches. I just grab them from Google Images, paste them in, and I set the layer to multiply, which blends them in with the paper. You can do the same thing with blood, like this. Or, if you really want to get fancy, pick up some of Games Workshop's Blood from the Blood God technical paint, and then go ahead and just splotch and drip that on, and it will look realistic and glossy and gross. And that's it. In just about 10 or 15 minutes, you can have a really cool prop to kick off your game. Oh, and if you want to get really fancy, go ahead and buy a wax sealing kit from Amazon for about 15 bucks, and then you can seal your letter like this. And now you have a great cool prop for your players that I promise will impress them. So if you're writing a new adventure, give this opening a try. Have you ever used this technique before? If so, let me know in the comments below. Until next time, I'm JC, and have fun with the Intercepted Letter.